What is up, everybody? Back with a new video here today, and it's going to be my 25 favorite metal albums of the last 25 years. Got the idea from Quest for Metal, another cool YouTube channel. He did his because he saw it on Loudwire. They put out their list, and as usual, Loudwire, not good. Not a fan of theirs in general, and this list of theirs just sucked. So, got to put mine together. I've got 25 ready to go. And, of course, there's a ton of good albums in this period. We got 2000 to 2024, long time frame there, so tough to narrow this down, but going to get into it right away here with my number 25, The Inner Sanctum by Saxon from 2007. Love this period of Saxon. Their first couple of the 2000s are really good, and this one here in 2007 is awesome. But looking at these songs, State of Grace, really great song to open it up. Need for Speed, and I've Got a Rock to Live. This is their 17th album in their discography, and it still sounds super fresh. They got a lot of energy, very consistent album. Biff Byford still sounds awesome on the vocals, but really good classic sounding metal, of course, from Saxon, new wave of British heavy metal pioneers. Number 24, I've got Annihilator, Carnival Diabolos, which this one came out in 2001, and Annihilator is a band that I think gets some kind of unfair treatment sometimes. I've said this a lot on my channel in the past, but they have a lot of good albums. They get mislabeled as a band that just has a couple of good albums at the beginning, which I think is false. A lot of their stuff up through the 90s and into the 2000s is really good. Jeff Waters is a machine on the guitar, one of the best ever. Amazing shred. He's a very melodic, awesome player too at times. Looking at these tracks, Denied to open it up is great. The title track, really super cool, catchy one with a great chorus. And probably Hunter Killer, the final track, are my favorite songs. Also good vocals on here from Joe Cumiu, who sang in Liege Lord at one point back in the day. So good vocals here. Overall, very strong, cool album there. My number 23, I'm going to go with Redeemer of Souls by Judas Priest. So we got a couple classic bands to open up this list for me. Judas Priest, Redeemer of Souls. This album came out in 2014. It was their first one without KK Downing, so that's a different change in the band there. Richie Faulkner does do a good job, and of course Glenn Tipton is still here. And this album is a bit of a nostalgic album for me to a degree, because the first time I saw Judas Priest for my 18th birthday was in 2014 for this tour, and it was just an awesome show. Love some of these songs: Dragonauts, Halls of Valhalla, Battle Cry, some just amazing tracks. Rob Halford still sounds amazing on this, and some people complain about the production on this, but I think it sounds just fine, and the songs and the songwriting are very good. Sounds like classic Judas Priest to me, and it's my favorite that they put out since Painkiller, so that's going at number 23. My number 22, I'm going to go with Coagulating Darkness by Hellripper, their debut full-length from 2017. Now, Hellripper, it's the newest band on the list so far. They're pretty modern, from Scotland. It's basically a one-man project by this guy, James McBain, who is an awesome musician. It's a very, blackened speed metal type of sound. Sounds like if you mixed Motorhead, Bathory, and Kill 'Em All era Metallica all together. That's what this album sounds like. If you don't know him by now, you need to check this out. Looking at these tracks, Bastard of Hades, Annalise, and Demdike are the best, but just pure speed, black thrash, black speed, amazing stuff from Hellripper. Most of their albums are really good. Next up at number 21, I've got Death to All by Necrophobic. Awesome band from Sweden. They blend a great style of melodic death and melodic black metal. Very dark, very melodic, as I said. Super consistent album. Heavy, great stuff here. I did see them back in 2022 at Maryland Death Fest. Awesome show. A couple of favorite tracks on this album: Celebration of the Goat, Revelation 666, and The Tower. Awesome album, so check it out if you don't know it. Number 20, I got Black Sun by Primal Fear. Super cool German band. Sounds kind of similar to Judas Priest, but a little bit more of a power metal element in their sound. The vocals from Ralph Scheepers, who is awesome, does very much, kind of sound like Rob Halford to a degree. Looking at these songs, Cold Day in Hell, Armageddon, and Fear are a couple of my favorites. But this band's super consistent, got a lot of great albums. This one just the one I was liking the best right now. My number 19, I've got Tales from Eternal Dusk by Dark Fortress. Great melodic black metal from Germany. This is their full-length debut from 2001. Very cool album. Looking at these tracks, Twilight, Apocalypse, and Pilgrim of the Nightly Spheres are my favorite songs, but awesome band, awesome album. And another one that I did see at Maryland Death Fest a couple years ago. Really cool to have seen them, because they are, as of now, broken up, not together anymore, but cool stuff here. Very consistent, awesome debut album from them. My number 18, I'm going to go with Evil Never Dies by Toxic Holocaust. Amazing band. This album here is my favorite. It's the most aggressive, most evil, darkest, fastest. It's just furious black thrash from... it was a one-man project originally by Joel Grind. Of course, he's got some band members and stuff that he plays live with, but he does everything on this album. Really cool stuff. War is Hell, Damned to Fire, Atomic Destructor are my favorites, and this one definitely laid the blueprint for a lot of the current like new wave of thrash and the black thrash that everybody's doing now. It sounds pretty similar to Hellripper. It's probably his main influence in Hellripper is Toxic Holocaust, and this album is just awesome. My number 17, I've got Only True Believers by Armageddon. Great black metal album from 2003. Really cool stuff. Looking at these tracks, Poetry from a Poisoned Mind, the title track, a couple of my favorites. Very dark, evil, kind of atmospheric, really nice, raw, gritty guitar tone that is just awesome. Great riffs throughout the album. Next one up for me is Lust and Violence by Power from Hell. Cool black thrash band. Again, this one from Brazil. Very consistent band. They had a lot of really good albums that came out in the 2000s and 2010s, but this one is my favorite. Black Angel, The Old Masters, and Disturbing the Priest. A couple favorites from this album. It's a very raw, dark, good, high-energy albums, kind of similar to Venom and those early first-wave black metal bands, but maybe a little more aggressive. Really great, dark, like raspy, gruff, evil vocals to this as well. Really cool album there at 16. My number 15, I've got Ironbound by Overkill from 2010. Overkill, another band that is very classic. I've talked about a couple of them here on this list so far, but Overkill, one of the most consistent bands in metal. Most of their stuff really good. This one is my favorite modern album from them. The title track is awesome, and Bring Me the Night, a couple of favorites. The Goal Is Your Soul, also another one that I really like. Bobby Blitz, of course, has that very distinctive raspy voice that is great. Dee Dee Verney, the other classic member that's been there all the way through from the beginning. My number 14 is going to be, got to move my list, but my number 14, I'm going to go with Burn the Night by Riot City from 2019. Now, this band, new wave of traditional heavy metal, they've got a great classic sound. They're one of the modern bands that does the 80s heavy metal, like Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Saxon sound from back in the day. They're one of the best like modern bands trying to replicate that sound. These songs, Warrior of Time, In the Dark, and 329 are amazing. The vocalist, Kale Savvy, really cool, does great high screams and just has a great voice in general all throughout this album. The guitar playing is amazing, good dual harmonizing guitar work throughout the album, just very 80s sounding. So if you want some good modern metal that has a classic sound, check this band and album out. My number 13, I've got The Dreaming Eye by Achilles, or Achilles, however it's pronounced. This band is crazy. This album's from 2015. The sound, super cool, dark, atmospheric, just very chaotic, but also melodic at the same time. It's interesting to listen to. But the drumming, blast beats are insane and very powerful, fast, epic. The vocals are good. I saw this band back in 2021 or 2 at Psycho Las Vegas. Can't remember now, but very cool show in a very small venue that was just awesome. Because at Psycho Las Vegas, they had like 5 different venues within the hotel. And this one was at like one of the smaller ones. So it was a very compact, small show. Very cool to see. The songs, Breath and Levitation, Tides of Oniric Darkness, and the title track are the best on this album for me. My number 12, another classic band that's no longer with us, Motorhead, Kiss of Death. Of course, Lemmy, awesome figure in rock and metal. Very consistent band, Motorhead was, and they're one that just, most of their stuff was awesome. This album's from 2006, and it's very high energy, sounds really fresh again, super consistent. Love Mickey D and Phil Campbell in the band along with Lemmy. That was one of my favorite lineups, of course, you know, the original 3 with Phil Taylor and Eddie Clark, very great, obviously, but you know, they put out some really good stuff in their later years. This album, super consistent and awesome. Looking at these tracks, Sucker, Devil I Know, and Going Down, some of my favorites. Just awesome riffs. Lemmy sounds like Lemmy. His voice fits their music perfectly. Just awesome stuff. My number 11, I've got Horror Show by Iced Earth, 2001. Super cool album, good concept with like the horror character names and everything throughout. John Schaefer, great guitar player. He puts down some just amazing riffs on this. His tone is great. Matt Barlow's voice, very powerful on the album. Richard Christie on drums is a machine. But looking at these tracks, Damien's awesome. Frankenstein, of course, is just an amazing song. I love the opening riff on that one. And Wolf, another great song here, but awesome album. Been a big fan of it for a long time. Next up at number 10, I've got Sons of Northern Darkness by Immortal. Immortal's awesome. I love most of their stuff. This album came out in 2002, and at this period in the band, they were incorporating a lot of thrash elements into the sound, which I love. I'm a huge thrash fan. I like the earlier stuff they did as well that was just more straight up raw, dark black metal, but the couple albums they did around the late 90s, early 2000s, I just love with the thrash. Abath, of course, frontman of the band at this point, great guitarist, love his riffs and his tone, his vocals, very unique, just very instantly recognizable voice. Horg on the drums, and even though Demonaz wasn't in the band technically, like playing at this point, he was still doing songwriting, which is pretty cool. But a couple favorites, One by One, which is one of my favorite Immortal songs ever, just amazing, heavy, just great track start to finish. And In My Kingdom Cold, I think, is a really great song as well. A couple of my favorites there from that album. Number 9, I've got Jat by Sabir. Really cool band here. They're pretty new. This is the most modern album on the list. Came out just last year. They've been around a couple of years, but this is their full-length debut. Had an EP a couple of years ago as well that was very good. But this album, for a debut full-length, is just amazing. It's got a pretty cool, refreshing sound. I love the production. They call it like acid metal. It's kind of distorted, interesting, unique sound. Very classic sounding as well. If you like just classic Wasp, you're going to love this. If you look at the imagery of the band, obviously they are very influenced by Wasp. So I love that. Wasp was one of my favorite bands, so I'm going to love this band, obviously, as well. A couple favorite tracks on it, Just a Touch of Acid and Alone Again. I'm a Rock, start to finish, very good album. Highly recommend to check it out if you like classic Wasp. My number 8, I've got Exercises in Futility by Mgła. Awesome band from Poland. They have a super unique sound, very atmospheric. Their music is almost like mesmerizing. It's melancholic. Very just consistent band. All their stuff's great, but this one to me is their best album. It's my favorite parts of the album. My favorite tracks are track 2 and 4, and Mgła just does Exercises in Futility is the name of the album, so all the songs have the same title, just 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. But parts 2 and 4 are my favorites. Again, amazing melodies. Love the drumming on this. The guy is amazing on the cymbals and everything. It's just a very cool drummer, great guitarist and vocalist as well. But I did see this band live at Psycho Las Vegas a couple years ago. Amazing show, one of the best I've ever seen. Just very mesmerizing, amazing performance from them. Number 7, I've got Death by Fire by Enforcer, one of the leaders of the new wave of traditional heavy metal from Sweden. Great vocals from Olaf Wickstrand. He's a great guitarist and songwriter as well. This album, great classic sound to it. Anybody, again, that likes early Judas Priest, Saxon, Maiden, you're going to love Enforcer if you don't know him by now. But Death Rides This Night, Mesmerized by Fire, Satan to close out the album. All amazing songs. Number 6, this one might be my most random. It's not really random because this band is amazing. They're somewhat underrated because they're from Japan. It's Anthem, Eternal Warrior from 2004. Don't see it talked about too much, especially their more modern stuff. I don't really see anybody talking about, but amazing, consistent band. This album, again, it's just straight up classic, hard-hitting heavy metal. Sounds very similar to a Judas Priest style heavy metal, but it's Japanese. The riffs are amazing. Akio Shimizu, the guitarist, is just absolutely amazing. I love all the work he did with the band. He first started with them in 92 on Domestic Booty, which is a great album, and then they broke up for a while. Then he's been with them since they got back together. But his solos just super clean, fast. He shreds amazingly, but it's not just mindless shredding. It is very well constructed, and his tone and the way he does everything is just awesome. But a couple of these tracks, Omega Man, Soul Cry, and Onslaught, which has one of my favorite guitar solos ever, just insane sweep picking, and everything about it's amazing. So Eternal Warrior, Anthem, Number 6, definitely go check that one out if you haven't heard it. My number 5, I've got Mana by Unto Others, which I love this band. They're one of the best modern bands in my opinion. They blend a couple of cool styles together. It's kind of a mix of goth, rock / metal, just classic traditional metal, kind of a new wave sound in there a little bit, but it all comes together very nicely. Cool vocals from Gabriel Franco. It's kind of just that goth, monotoned style, but it fits the music very well. A couple favorite tracks. I got Nightfall, Cosmic Overdrive, and Give Me to the Night. Seen these guys live a couple of times. Great show each time. Each of their couple albums they put out so far are really good, but this debut is my favorite. My number 4, I've got Skull Fist, Chasing the Dream. Love Skull Fist. Love Chasing the Dream. Zach, great musician that fronts the band. Good songwriter. Awesome guitar player. Looking at these tracks. Hour to Live, Bad for Good. Great one, got a cool music video, and probably Mean Street Rider are my favorites, but super consistent album. I've loved this band for a long time, so they're number 4 for me on here. My number 3, I've got my favorite band of all time, Megadeth, Endgame, 2009, super aggressive, just speed thrashing album. First one with Chris Broderick, who is an amazing player. You can tell right from the beginning on Dialectic Chaos that he's just going to shred all over the album, and he does. Dave Mustaine, of course, great songwriter. And I got Sean Drover on the drums here and James Lomenzo on bass. And I did actually get this signed by Sean Drover. I've shown that before, but pretty cool. Looking at the tracks, as I said, Dialectic Chaos to open it up is a great instrumental. Just blistering fast, awesome guitar playing. This Day We Fight, super heavy, aggressive song, 44 minutes, which another one that's just awesome. I could list all these songs. Amazing album. Endgame, my number 3. My number 2, I'm going to go with Fimbulwinter by Satanic Warmaster. Now, Satanic Warmaster is a fantastic black metal band. They're from Finland. It's basically a one-man project at this point. The guy's name's Werewolf. His real name's Laurie. But Werewolf is his like kind of metal stage name thing he goes by. Very consistent album. Fimbulwinter's Spell, Funeral Wolves, which is just an amazing song. Wind Thunder's Hail. All these songs pretty much. Winter's Hunger. All very good. Just a dark, cold, not Swedish, Finnish black metal masterpiece right here from 2014. And my number 1 is Ominous Doctrines by Inquisition. Got the vinyl here. Just kind of the original art on the inside and the band members. This band, I've talked about them a lot on the channel. Very kind of a spacey, melodic sound that's very interesting and unique. Amazing guitar playing from Dagon. His vocals very unique as well. You instantly recognize the voice. And the drummer, it's just a 2-man band, which is very interesting in itself because even playing live, it's just the drummer and the guitarist who sings. And they're super powerful. Seen them a couple times live now. Some of the best shows I've ever seen. But the drummer, as I was saying, Incubus, is just a machine. Very awesome. He's got a lot of cool, intricate drum fills. Just a great drummer. And looking at these songs, Astral Path to Supreme Majesties to open it up is great. Desolate Funeral Chant is kind of a doomy, big, heavy riff. Amazing song. And probably Command of the Dark Crown are my favorites. But this is my favorite album of the last 25 years. Ominous Doctrines of the Perpetual Mystical Macrocosm, to say it in full. But you can just say Ominous Doctrines for short. Inquisition from 2010. Now, with 25 years being such a long span, I've got some honorable mentions I'm going to run through as well. But, yeah, my first couple that were very close to making the list were M16 by Sodom and Give Me Your Soul by King Diamond. Both great albums. Going to run through the rest pretty fast because I've got 10 or 15 here. Brave New World by Iron Maiden. Resurrection by Halford, which, of course, was Rob Halford's band in the early 2000s before he got back with Judas Priest. Into the Storm by Significant Point, which was my number 1 album of 2021. Great Japanese metal band. Really cool album that's got a good classic sound. It's a new wave of traditional heavy metal style album. Lucifer and Cestus by Belphegor. United Abominations by Megadeth. I was kind of trying to keep it to 1 album per band, and United Abominations maybe could have made it on there. Just another great album by Megadeth. Midian by Cradle of Filth, I'm a big fan of. The album by this band, Sidon, which is a great up-and-coming black metal band that's got a cool, unique sound. Their 2022 album, it's hard to pronounce, Onryo 2, or however it's pronounced, but great album there. The Formation of Damnation by Testament, which is my favorite they've done since they've gotten back together, or since they've started putting albums out again in 2008. I think that's mostly what else I've got. The Everlasting by Loudness from 2009 is my favorite modern album by them. Sadorian Spell by Dark and Nocturne Slaughter Cult. To Embrace the Corpse's Bleeding by Judas Iscariot from 2002. And even Sonic Firestorm by Dragon Force I'm a pretty big fan of. Phoenix Rising by Destroyer 666 as well, if I didn't already say that. But that is all the honorable mentions. I'm sure there's more. A lot of albums came out in that period, and everybody, likes what they like. So let me know in the comments, what are your 25 favorite albums from the last 25 years? Let me know what you thought about my list. And until next time, y'all, thank you for watching.